Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about software development. So I'm going to be giving an overview about what's good, what's bad, which sub areas we have like in software development world, how you can learn coding, and also what else you have to learn if you want to become a software developer, how is the current market in 2023, and also the first steps you have to do to become a software developer. So if you are interested in that area, if you are thinking on change your career, stay with me and watch this video to the end. My name is Joss, and this is the Tech Career Booster channel. Stay with me. If you got to this video, you probably are thinking on changing career and learning IT, learning something about software development, but you probably couldn't find much or found lost on all the information you can find in the internet. So I'm making this video to actually help you guys to have a quick overview on what's involved in the software development career, what's actually do, what's good, what's bad. Let's start with the good part. Usually it's a well-paid career. Most of software developers, I would say, if you are not like just starting your career, if you have a few years of experience, 1, 2 years, you can easily make more than 100K. So it's a six-figure salary career. It is not an easy mark to find in the market in any other career. Like I know other careers can get that as well, but I would say it's a well-paid career. So that's the first good thing I would emphasize here. Um, Another good thing is you have the opportunity to have a lot of flexibility in your work. So you usually can work from the office, you can work from home. Most of the companies currently they are hiring to work remotely, so you can actually be anywhere. Obviously, it's not like all fluff and fancy things. You have to do hard work, and some companies they require you to work in the same time zone, so you have to work synchronously with the team. But you still have the flexibility and the freedom to actually work from wherever you want. That's another good thing I would consider. Also, you usually have really good perks offered because the market is very competitive. So companies usually are fighting for employees, and that's a good thing. So you actually can choose where you're going to work. You can choose who you're going to work for. That's another thing I would like to emphasize because in some place or some careers you got stuck with whatever you have around you, whatever you have like close to your place, close to where you live, and there's not many companies in there, and those sort of things doesn't happen in IT and software development. Your borders really are the world, so you can work for any company wherever you want in the world. Yeah, but it's not all good things and fancy and fluff stuff. It also has its bad part. And what I would call bad is it's not an easy thing to do. It's not like you're going to be playing all day or you're going to be just enjoying things. Nah, it's far away from that. It's actually a very stressful day-to-day thing to do. You're going to be usually under pressure. So you usually have tight deadlines. You have like strong requirements you have to fulfill, and you have to code and build software. Basically, you're gonna be paid to solve someone else's problem. That's the summary, and that's not always good. You're gonna be always solving problem. If you are not prepared to be all the time solving someone else's problem, that career is not for you. There is a higher risk of burnout. So there are many burnouts over the community. Many software developments they can't handle the pressure. They don't separate properly the time to be off and the time to be working, and they work too many hours, and like it's just impacting their life, which, as I mentioned, it's not a good thing. You're gonna be sitting in front of a computer for many hours, so it can be like something between 7 to 10 to 12 hours in front of a computer every day. and yeah, it can be unhealthy. And also, another thing some people like, some people don't, is actually the pressure to be always learning. So there is not a point in the career where you're going to say, ah, no, I know everything about it, and now I'm just going to do my job. If you just want to do your job like 9 to 5 and go home and don't do anything else, that career is not also for you. Because you're going to have to be always reading, you're going to have to be always watching videos, what's new in the market. Recently, we are all talking about AI and Chat GPT and everything. Like, you're going to be learning all those things all the time. Even if you have 20 years experience in the career, you still have to continuously learn. And for some people, it's bad. For me, I would say that's good. Actually, that keeps my mind alive, and that keeps me happy. That's something I like. But some people consider that as a bad thing because you never have the peace to actually say, no, I don't have anything to do now. You always have something to do. All right. And what are the areas inside of the software development career? What you actually can do? Like when we talk about software development, it's a huge area. It's a like you can do since create software to work inside of a car or inside of a rocket, or you can create something more simple to actually run in a computer or an app to run like in your phone or your tablet. So basically, the main sub areas of software development, I would say, they are web development, there are mobile development, gaming development, and another thing I would call other areas because they're very initial areas. Like it's just starting, not many opportunities, not many companies yet working on those things, but they are around already for some time, which are like VR, virtual reality, or AR, augmented reality, or IoT, Internet of Things, which means like embedded software in many device, like they are embed software in your fridge or in your oven or whatever, which I can't see makes sense, but it's happening. So software development, like all of this is inside of the software development area. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the main ones. For example, web development. What's exactly that? Web development is everything you can run in a browser. So websites, e-commerces, web-based ERP systems, all the systems you can see inside of a browser. You don't have like an installed software for that or an installed app for that. That's all web development. It's a web developer who is actually going to work in that system. And the main languages we have for web development currently, there are obviously the basic ones, which are HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then we have some others which are supportive or more back-end languages like Python, Java, Ruby, PHP, Golang, C Sharp, many like back-end languages, which is going to support the web development or the front end. And also, it's all supported by databases. It's either SQL or NoSQL database, but you're going to have to be learning those things to become a web developer. Another interesting area is actually mobile development, which basically is create apps. So mobile developers, they create apps for smartphones and tablets. Those apps, they are specific for each platform. So depends on which OS you're going to build the app for. You're going to have to use this specific technology. You can build apps for Android, you can build apps for iPhones, or you can even build apps for other mobile device, but there are not many out there. So the dominant ones in the market are Androids and iPhones. And if you want to build for iPhone, you're probably going to be using Swift or Objective-C for iOS, which is the iPhone operating system. Or if you want to actually build apps for Android, you're going to be using Kotlin, that's the modern one, or Java, that was the first version of the apps they built for Android. Those are the technologies involved in the mobile development, basically. And the third one, which is big, actually, it's a huge market. It's game development. Some people underestimate the game development market, but it is a big market, and there are many opportunities out there. Uh, I would say it's a bit more complex to become a game developer than the other two I just mentioned. But if that's something you like, that definitely it's not impossible. Basically, game development, you're going to be creating video games for many platforms, many consoles like PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, or even for PCs or for mobile device. But you're going to be basically creating games. There are some engines for those games. The main ones are Unity or Unreal, and that's basically the platform you're going to be built on top of if you want to build a game currently. But to become a game developer, actually, it requires more solid programming concepts. So we're going to have to go deeper and learning algorithms and learning languages and everything involved in there. It's a bit harder. The learning curve is a bit bigger. And also, you're going to need some design knowledge because it all involves images and things. So if you have some knowledge about designing, that's going to be a plus. But how you can learn all of this? If you actually want to become a software developer, where you can start learning coding, the first thing you're going to have to learn is how to code. Basically, that's it. And you can go from a variety of ways to learn. It really depends on your budget and how much time you have. So you can actually do a full degree, which is going to take you 3-4 years to become a software engineer or to do a computer science course. But you also can do a very short course in one online platform like Coursera or Udemy or Codecademy. There's a huge range, and you have to decide what's the best way for you and for your life, which moment you are in your life. If you have like 3-4 years to learn, that's one thing. If you don't have that time, if you want to change your career quickly and soon, you have to find something faster. The good news is the market doesn't care where you have learned. So as soon as you know and you can prove you can do things, the market's going to hire you. No one's going to look, this guy took a computer science degree and it took 4 years to do that. And someone else who just made an online course, if this guy who made an online course, if they actually show up and show their skills and they are actually able to do coding, it's going to be hard in the same way. Other ways you have to learn is actually books, tutorials in the internet. There are very good websites for that, like Free Code Camp or W3 Schools. Another fast track for learning, which I think it's a good one if you have a large budget, because they are expensive, they are the boot camps. So if you go to a coding boot camp, it's usually full-time learning for 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, depends. And you're going to be going to those boot camps and spend the whole day coding and learning for 3-4 months. And then when you get out of there, you probably is ready for the market. Code-wise, thinking about code, you're going to be ready for the market if you go to a boot camp. But they are usually very expensive. They can cost something between, 14-15 grand up to 30-40 grand. It can become very expensive. It's not as expensive as a computer science degree, but it can become very expensive for such a short amount of time. But then let's say you learned how to code. Now you know how to code. How are you going to find your job? What are you going to do? Is that the knowledge of coding enough? Probably not. You're going to have something else behind you to actually become a software developer and find your first job. So you're probably going to have a portfolio. You're going to have to show up to the world and say, look, this is the things I've done already. Obviously, it's hard to ask experience for someone who are just starting, but you have to have a way to prove you are good. You have to have a way to prove what you have learned. And the best way to do that is having a portfolio, usually on GitHub. So everything you learn, it's good to be adding that as a project in GitHub and that's going to build your portfolio. You can also work for real projects for free or as an intern. Like you can try to find like open source software, or you can try to find your own personal project. You can create your own website, mini system, connecting to some APIs, providing some interesting thing as a service. So if you build your own project, but it's a real project, it is open in the world, that's going to help you to find your first job. And the third important thing, I think it is interact with the community. You have to be involved in the community. So there are meetups everywhere. If you go to the website meetups.com, you're going to find meetups in your area, and probably you're going to be able to go to a meetup of your preferred language, or you can go to a meetup about an open source software, or you can even be involved in open source software development. You can be part of that software community or online communities. Find your tribe. You can find a tribe and actually connect to those people and put your hands up and say, look, I want to become a software developer. I'm looking for my first job. And the community itself, they're going to recommend you. They're going to see you are good, you are collaborating, and they're going to recommend you for a job. And what's in the market at the moment? What you can expect from the market if you are in 2023 thinking to become a software developer? You probably see some news like the big techs, they are dismissing people, they are firing their employees. And my opinion about that is it's just the market adjusting itself. They have hired many people over the pandemic time. So they have hired people in 2020, 2021, they were thinking that's going to be a booming and everyone's going to be in the computer and using the tech stack. But that's not the reality. Once like COVID is setting down, the companies are actually realizing people are going back to their normal life. They are not spending the whole day in front of the computer anymore. And because of that, those professionals are not needed anymore in the big tech, in the big companies. But they still need it everywhere else. Like if you go to the positions website, for example, for like LinkedIn or Seek, in LinkedIn at the moment, there are more than 13,000 positions available for software developer. If you go to Seek, which is a paid platform, so the companies have to pay to put an ad in there, there are more than 4,000 positions available for software developers. 4,000, and I'm talking just about Australia. My search was limited to Australia. So it's a huge market. They are hiring a lot of people, and the average salary in Australia is over 100K. Any software developer in Australia is making more than 100K, like if you are not just starting. Obviously, that's not going to be your first job. Don't get that illusion you're going to jump into the market tomorrow and you're going to make 100K, because that's not the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to start with 50, 60, 70, and then you're going to grow from there. But that's a pretty quickly growing. Like if you start in a good company and you show up and you demonstrate your skills, it's very easy to go from junior to mid-level to actually senior. It can take you 2 to 3 years only to go from 60 to 100 to 110 to 120. That's just the reality. You can go to any research and you can find out what I'm saying. Like you're gonna see it's very easy. So the general trend is actually they're gonna need more and more software developers. And that's not limited to Australia. It's actually over the world. It's always been like that. I've been in the industry for 20 years and it's always been like that. They're always needing more and more software developers because people just need more and more technology. If you look around, everything involves technology at the moment. Everything involves software. So if there's something close to you which does not involve software, it's probably an old thing. Even like normal things, let's say, if I'm going to do any sport or if I'm going to go for a run, you probably have a smartwatch which is going to control your distance and things. It's all software involved in that. So the trend is going to be you need more and more software. So on seeing all of this, now you decide, okay, I want to become a software developer. What you should do? What's the first steps? I would say my recommendation is you can start learn coding, but in parallel, while you are learning how to code, you can start to prepare yourself to the market. What does that mean? That means your first step is going to be find your preferred way to learn. It can be an online platform, it can be a TAFE or a degree, it can be a bootcamp. Find your preferred way and go for it, and start it and don't stop, because that's the problem. Some people actually start and then they find it's too hard and then they stop. You should not stop until you've actually finished and start to apply to position. So go and do one course. You can go to one online platform. You can go to Udemy and find a cheap course, and then you start to learn from there. But in parallel, you can start to build your portfolio on GitHub, and you can get started to be involved with the community and build your LinkedIn portfolio, LinkedIn profile, and put all your working and things, all your portfolio. You can also put in LinkedIn. You can put links on LinkedIn to your portfolio on GitHub. You can start to write posts for LinkedIn talking about the things you were learning. And obviously, you can start your own personal project, or you can be involved with open source projects. I would say the first step would be that you can start learning how to code and starting to build your own portfolio and your own image to the market. And once you have that consolidated, once you have that a bit solid, so once you have a few projects in your portfolio, once you have a bit of knowledge, you don't have to wait to be full prepared. It's never going to happen. As I mentioned previously, it's a always learning career. So you're never going to stop learning. You're never going to stop doing courses. You're never going to stop with those things. So once you feel, okay, I have enough knowledge here, that's sort of okay, I can find a junior position with the knowledge I already hold, you can actually start to apply. You can start to apply for junior positions. That would be the first steps, or probably the main steps for your software development career. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, this information. I hope it's going to be useful for you. And let me know in the comments if you liked that, or if you want more videos like these things. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.